Right, this is my dish rack. Now, I'm really scraping the barrel here, I know, and that's the most exciting subject I can think of to talk about right now. No, this thing needs to be replaced, so that's why I'm doing a little review of what products are out there, because I don't want to replace it with plastic again. This thing has lasted me quite a long time, but you can see now it's all broken along here. It's all split and broken at the back. And of course, now I'm going to have to throw it into landfill because even if it says it's recyclable, where the hell do you recycle it? So yeah, I need to come up with something much, much better. And so I'm going to look at how it can actually be better as a product as well. I don't like how shallow these are. My knives, if I get any long knives in there, they fall over. It collects a lot. It's not very hygienic at all. It collects a lot of black mold and scum in the bottom of these pockets here because it doesn't drain very well. The whole thing just doesn't drain very well. It collects all the mold in there. And then especially on the underneath because it's so close to the draining board. So yeah, we're going to be looking for something that is made of a material that can be recycled at the end of life. I don't want it to be that expensive. I want it to be of a decent size as well, similar to this. So yeah, all the typical criteria. We'll have a look online for that. But also, it's not particularly hygienic or well organised to have all my cleaning stuff in here as well, which is just draining water onto the stuff that's meant to dry. So we've got, our metal and sponge scourer, our scrubber there, and Swedish dishcloth. So yeah, all these things need to sort of be tidied up and improved. So let's have a look at what's online and we'll see if we can find something.
Okay, so I just want to show you an example of the tray that I bought many years ago and still available on the market, unfortunately. Virgin plastic, cheap, easy to break. Moving on, we've got recycled plastic finally, but the problem with recycled plastic is that there's only so many times you can recycle it. Ultimately, it's going to end up in landfill. Even if it says it's recyclable, there's nowhere to recycle it. The council are not going to do it. If you call them up, they will tell you to put it into landfill. The only place you could take it to is out in the middle of the countryside to some special industrial facility, but you're not going to do that, are you? So I would steer clear of plastics, full stop. I know it gives an outlet to the waste plastic, but we could be using it for other things, and I don't really want to encourage that as an option. Also, steer clear of these things. Rubber or plastic coated wire racks. The reason being is because you would see yourself over time, things like clothes horses, they get brittle, the plastic peels off, that turns into microplastics, which is bad enough in itself, but then the metal underneath starts to rust instantly because it's mild steel and not stainless. So again, I think a bit of a waste of time. Now we're getting into something a bit more sustainable. Timber or bamboo folding dish rack. I mean, it's really quite neat design, pretty reasonable price, £10 to £20. The only downside I would say to it is that you can only really store plates and cups and cutlery on there. You wouldn't be able to fit saucepans and other things on there. Well, you might be able to, but it'd be a bit precarious. But it is a really good design. Of course, wood and bamboo can be thrown away in the trash and it will break down naturally. So that's great. Or it can be recycled in timber recycling, before you point that out. Okay, so that one's 40 by 24.5 centimetres. So it's similar footprint, but of course it's got two tiers. This one, we're getting into something a bit more sturdy here. This is stainless steel but painted. It's got a little draining rack at the bottom, probably plastic. Yeah, what can I say about it? It's not really my style, but it's going to do the job, and it can be recycled at end of life. £22, pretty reasonable. This one is, pretty similar concept. The only thing I don't like about these ones is they have so all that is plastic at the bottom. That tray at the bottom there is all plastic, and it's got this plastic tube that just weird concept. It collects all the water and then it comes out the plastic tube into the sink. I guess it's if you don't have a draining board and it's on a worktop. I guess that's the reason for it, but it's not entirely stainless steel. So I would probably avoid that one if I could. And it's quite expensive, £33, but it is quite a neat design, that sort of two-tier level thing. Okay, this one is Very basic. Let's look at the price. £11. Yeah, very, very cheap. That one 42 by 26 centimetres. So a bit narrower than my one, but it's got 2 tiers again. But again, not a huge amount of space to store saucepans and things like that. Right, moving on to this one. This one's massive. This one is 87 centimetres wide, 29 centimetres deep, and 60 centimetres tall. But yeah, very, very practical. Not that expensive for the size it is. I'd recommend that one. This one I wouldn't, because it's so tiny, 44 by 36 centimetres, but it is very basic and simple and stainless steel. And then finally, we've got this one, which is cheap enough, £25, stainless steel, just very simple and a decent size as well, 44 by 38 centimetres. So very similar to my existing rack, but 2-tier. And it's got some extra little bits on the end, which I quite like. You could hang cups off of there, put your cutlery in there. I think I'm going to order this one because it's very, very basic. Looks very easy to put together, and it's got the extra bits where you can store the things on the end, and you can put your saucepans down the bottom. I think that suits me. Okay, let's order this up and give it a test. So I think it's about time that I actually got myself some sort of tidy for the tools of the job. So this is going to be like my little toolbox. Got my washing up liquid in there, my hand soap, sponge scourer, scrubber, and some sort of towel, maybe my Swedish dishcloth. Now, what I like about this one is it's got a bar on it that lets you dry your towel out. So I think that's pretty important. It's got some little rubber feet, keep it off the worktop so it doesn't rust. Because stainless steel will eventually rust if you if you soak it in water long enough, and the coating comes off. It's got a little plastic tray to collect any drips. You can't really avoid that. I mean, maybe they could, make it out of bioplastics. That would be ideal. I think that's pretty neat, really. Can be recycled at end of life and not too expensive. This one, love the look of it. I'm sure a lot of people will go for something like this, but what I would recommend is, it does look like it's got little feet on there at the bottom. I'd recommend you drill some holes in the bottom if it doesn't already have some drain holes, if you're going to use it in the kitchen or even the bathroom, to be honest. Otherwise, you're just going to be forever fighting mould and scum in something like this. Just wants to eat the wood. But yeah, pretty cool. This one, again, you're going to need to add something to it. I mean, it's meant to be for like cutlery, but it's a pretty cool little bamboo holder. So add some feet to it, drill some holes in the bottom. Same with this one. I just like the look of this. It's really cool, isn't it? Looks like it comes from a restaurant. Kids can write stuff on the side of it, or you can. This one is great because it's just universal, right? If you've got a kitchen tap, you can stick this on it, and it keeps it all out of the way of the worktop. It's going to drain away easily. If any drips fall down, you don't even need a draining tray on this one. You can just clean the sink anyway. So this one is really, really cool. It's got a plastic knob on it that clamps to the tap, but beggars can't be choosers. Can't be made out of metal, really. Hook on the side to hang stuff off of, and of course a bar to dry towels, and you can put your soap and things up the top there. So do really like that one. But because it's so tight around my sink, I'm going to go for a wall-mounted one. So you get these ones that have an adhesive pad on the back, and it just keeps it up out of the way. And it has a drip tray at the bottom. Again, plastic, but again, it could be made out of bioplastics. A rail to dry your towels, and then a space to put your various knickknacks in. So I'm going to go for that one. Order that up, and we will give them a little test. Look, it can be freestanding as well, so that's what's cool about that. All stainless steel, apart from the plastic.
Just want to point out, this is great design, in my opinion. It's just plug and play, super easy to put together. No, extravagant clips. You've got a bit of plastic going on here, little plastic rubber foot here to protect it from the draining board. But other than that, it's really super easy to put together and take apart, especially if you're like moving house or whatever. So all you do is you've got the bottom rack, okay, and you've got these two, so you go around that way. It's got these two slots, same identical top and bottom, there and there. And all you literally do is just slot that in there, like so. Same on the other end. Good engineering design is not extravagant. It's simple. It's not quite engineering, but you know what I mean. Product design, I suppose. Now, what they've done is they've made this top rack shorter, so that there's a bit of tension on it, and that's what holds the whole thing together. Very clever, simple design. And these things just hang on the end, literally like that. I mean, it really couldn't be any easier, could it? That's it. Right, time to test.
Just a few little shots in situ here.
So you can see here on my little dishcloth tidy, I've got my Swedish dishcloth hanging on the bar, drying out there nicely. Hand soap, dishwash soap, my sponge scourer, metal scourer, and my little scrubbing brush. Now this thing has a little pull-out tray so you can drain it off. Unfortunately it's plastic, but maybe that could be recycled in the future. Could have been made from some sort of bioplastic, some improvement. Again, stainless steel, so that can all be recycled at end of life and also will last a long time. Same applies here. This thing, I just absolutely love it. So simple, easily packed away if you ever want to move house. Again, stainless steel, going to last a long time, and of course can be recycled at end of life. It's got lots of clearance here for drainage. None of these complicated drainage systems you see on some of these things. Got a place now for my cups to dry and my cutlery. Not as deep as I'd like, but it is deeper than the other one. Yeah, that's it. That is my best suggestion for some sort of sustainable option for tidying up your dishwashing area and getting things a bit organised. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, subscribe. Please pass it on to your friends and family. Be making more videos like this on sustainable products, lifestyle, repairing things. So we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.